Hello everyone, my name is Christina Liu. I am a mental fitness coach. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's video where I talk about how to build mental fitness. Now, I'm getting some emails and comments from people who are watching my videos, so thank you so much. And I want to address some of the questions. And so one of the questions that I got last week, and I also get sometimes from my clients, so I thought I'd talk about here, is that could negative emotions be good for you? Or, and another way of asking is, do you have to feel these good emotions all the time? Couldn't some negative emotions actually be useful? Well, I think it's a great question. And so my short answer is, you don't have to feel anything, right? There is no should for anything for any feelings or doing, whether it's feelings or doing, that's my view. I don't tell my clients that they should, quote unquote, should do anything. So that's my first answer. And then if we dig a little bit deeper, the reason I've been talking about this theory of mental fitness, and we talk about this concept of sage and saboteur, how sage is the powerful part of us that feels the good emotion. The saboteurs are the parts of us that feel the negative emotion. And it seems like I'm promoting that we should feel more of the sage feelings and less of the saboteur feelings. The reason I say that is because that is what most people desire. That's one, right? Most people desire good feelings rather than bad feelings. And second of all, when you feel more of those good feelings or when you're more in your sage, you can actually reach your true potential more. And when I say potential, it could be anywhere from your work or how much money you make, your health, your relationships. So it could be a whole range of different aspects of our lives, right? So that's the second reason that you may want to be more in your sage and less in your saboteur. And the third is, we talked about last week, the law of attraction, how when you feel more of the good feelings, then you're able to attract more of what you want. So it kind of goes along with your true potential. So, if you're certain things that you want in life, and those things will give you good feelings, then it would serve you to feel those good feelings first. Then that will actually help you to get those things that will give you more good feelings, right? So that's kind of the third. And perhaps the fourth is also just people around you. If you're more in your sage and less in your saboteur, so if you're feeling more good feelings and less bad feelings, you probably will have a much more positive impact on the people around you, especially the people that you love, right? Because if you're happy, if you're joyful, if you're being creative, you have gratitude, you have passion, that probably will make other people around you feel better as well. And it will help them to bring out their best, right? So it will make you more enjoyable to be around. So those are some reasons that I think that we may want to be more in our sage and feel more good feelings rather than bad feelings. Now let's look at, okay, is feeling negative feelings inherently quote unquote bad? Now, if we use the sage approach or sage perspective, remember what it says. It says anything that happens, whether circumstance, outcome, or situation, can be a gift and opportunity. So that also applies to our negative feelings. So that means our negative feelings can actually be a gift and opportunity. And that is absolutely true. Because think about it. If you do feel a lot of negative feelings, and we're talking about a range of them, whether it's stress and overwhelm, which is what we feel a lot today, or shame, regret, guilt, disappointment, self-doubt, any of these negative feelings, when you feel them, one perspective you can have is, oh, well, maybe that's alerting me that something is going on. Maybe I need to take a look at why I'm feeling those negative feelings so much. And maybe it's prompting you to do something about it. Maybe look into, how I can become more mentally fit and feel less of those negative feelings and more of the good feelings. So by feeling those feelings, negative feelings, it actually can be a gift and gives you that opportunity to look deep within, right? So that's how it can actually be a gift and opportunity. And also, the fact that we feel negative feelings is not a bad thing at all. Remember, we said saboteurs, they sit in the survival part of the brain. Do we need to survive in this world? Absolutely. Or we want to, right? We want to survive in this world that has some dangers, and therefore having some saboteur feelings or having the saboteurs there, it actually keeps us safe. So it's actually a good thing. It helps us to survive. So just like pain, for example, you can ask, is pain good or bad for you? Well, you may say, well, prolonged pain is definitely not good, right? Most people don't want to feel prolonged pain. However, what if you never felt pain at all? Would that be good for you? Well, probably not either, right? So just imagine, let's say you accidentally put your hand on a hot stove. If you didn't feel this pain and you didn't pay attention, you might be burned pretty badly before you realize that you're getting burned, right? So that pain really helps you to alert, oh, something's going on. Same thing with negative emotions. It's there to alert us that something is going on that I might want to pay attention to. So let's say you feel some stress, right? And so this is alerting you, oh, maybe I'm working too much, or maybe I have too much going on in my life, and that's giving you that opportunity, right? Again, sage perspective, here's a gift and opportunity. It's giving me the opportunity to re-look at my life. Maybe do I need a different job, or do I need to create some different habits so that I don't feel so much overwhelm and stress, right? Or perhaps, let's say you feel some shame, right? Because you made a mistake. Yeah. So that initial feeling of shame is actually a really good, useful thing, because it's alerting you, oh, I made a mistake, or maybe I hurt someone, or, something, maybe I didn't do something that I didn't do something in the way that I want to do it. And so feeling that initial feeling is actually a really good, useful thing. However, what most people do is that they keep staying in that negative feeling. So the analogy of that would be, you keep your hand on the hot stove, even though you know it's bad for you. Now, if you think about it logically, that doesn't make any sense, right? Like if we know that the hot stove is burning our hand and we keep it there and keep letting it burn, not really good for you. However, we do that with our emotions, don't we? Right? We feel the stress and we just keep feeling it. And we sometimes we'll do something about it, but oftentimes we don't do anything about it and we just keep feeling those bad feelings. Or, we made a mistake or did something wrong and we keep feeling that shame and we don't ever let ourselves go. Now, is that useful? Probably not, right? Because by feeling that negative feeling, you're not actually benefiting yourself or anyone else. Whereas the sage would say, okay, I felt that negative feeling. Maybe something is not going right, and I'm going to do something about it. Right? And remember one of all the 5 sage powers, starting with empathize. That is the most useful sage power out of all the sage powers, I would say. And I would say in working with my clients, it's the power that we have the weakest. And so first, starting with empathize. Okay, maybe something is not going right. I did something wrong. Empathize with yourself. It's okay. I am human. I make mistakes. Then you can go to explore, explore what are all the things that are contributing to what is going on here. And then innovate. Hey, let's come up with some innovative solutions. So perhaps that I don't make the same mistakes or don't do the same things in the future. And then navigate. Okay, out of all the solutions I've come up with, which one do I want to decide on? And then activate and go and actually execute the decision that you have made. You see how if you use that approach, when something goes wrong, it's actually much more useful than keep dwelling in that negative emotion. I hope you can see that. And if you don't, that's okay too. That's why we want to keep practicing that empathize power Hey, I don't see how that can be useful. Totally okay. All right, so that's basically what I wanted to say about, with regards to the negative emotions, is feeling them can be very useful, and we can turn those feelings into gifts and opportunities and look at what is it that we want to do differently. And if you say, hey, I just like feeling negative feelings, that's okay too. I'm not here to tell you that you should feel anything, but I just want you to check in with yourself to see, is it truly coming from my sage, which is that powerful part of you that is full of love, that is full of wisdom and courage, clarity, certainty? Is it coming from that place? Or could it be coming from a saboteur? Maybe a saboteur wants to keep you in the way that you've always been because that is comfortable. So just ask yourself that question. And if you don't get the answer, that's okay too. What I find helpful is if you want to do some PQ reps, right, to shift yourself out of that saboteur brain part of the brain and then into the sage part of the brain, and then ask yourself that question, what is it that I really want? And what kind of feelings do I really want? What kind of life do I want? What kind of work do I want? What kind of relationships do I want? Ask yourself that question, and then see, how do you need to be in order to get those things, right? Is it to continue to feel your saboteurs, or would it serve you more to shift more into your sage and feel more of those good feelings? And then just one last thing about, if you do feel negative feelings, right? If something really bad, quote unquote bad, has happened or challenging has happened, and you're really truly just feeling bad, that's okay too. Remember that empathize power? Empathize with yourself. Acknowledge that you are a full human being, and having negative emotions is part of the human experience. And at the same time, also acknowledge, well, if I am feeling some negative feelings, it's probably coming from a saboteur. So I'm going to acknowledge that as well. So I'll label that as a saboteur. I'll do some PQ reps, see if I can shift out of the saboteur feeling. And if I can't, that's okay. I'm going to allow myself to feel this negative feeling until I've built strong enough muscles, right? We use the analogy of physical fitness, until I've built strong enough muscles to lift this big weight. Because maybe right now you're only able to lift weights that are 10 pounds, 20 pounds. And then here you have a problem that's 50 pounds, 100 pounds. Well, of course, you're going to have some difficulty lifting it. So, of course, you might stay in that negative emotion for a little bit. Maybe, it's a few days, maybe a few weeks. But with this new knowledge, new awareness, perhaps once you label that saboteur and you keep doing some PQ reps, you'll be able to shift out of it in a day, now. And then after a while, you keep practicing, you'll shift out of it in a few hours, so all of that is progress. So give yourself credit and acknowledgement for any progress that you made, because that's also a sage thing to do. The saboteurs, they want to look at what is wrong, what you haven't done. But the sage wants to look at what is right. What do I have to be grateful for? What can I celebrate? So I'll leave you with that. And thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your comments and feedback and questions, or any other topics that you want me to talk about as it relates to mental fitness, success, happiness, whether it's personal development, any of these topics. All right. Well, thank you so much again, and take care, and I will see you next week. Bye.